If you like eating prawns, then you'll probably really enjoy a prawn cocktail. It's a retro style starter that's been around for decades and it's stood the test of time because it still tastes delicious today. And you can make it your own. If you like, you can add mango, red onion, avocado. Today I used a medley of grape tomatoes, cos lettuce, some avocado, prawns and a lovely cocktail sauce. And it's a lovely dish to sit down and have with your guests where you don't have to cook anything. Just an idea for your Christmas table, and this is how you do it. So I have a kilo of tiger prawns here, and I bought these snap frozen and I've just defrosted them overnight in the fridge. Now, the messy job of shelling them, but it doesn't take too long. So all I do is break off the head, remove the tail, which just pulls off, and then remove the shell. And I think this is one of the nicest things about a prawn cocktail is that the prawns are peeled for you already. Now if you like, you just grab this little bit of the prawn and pull it back and the vein should come out. Some people don't mind the vein, and to be honest, the cocktail sauce will disguise any of that. This one's headless. Try and find the vein if it's there and pull it all the way back. And you know, you can peel these prawns the day before you want to assemble the cocktail. And then, you know, just on the day it's really super easy because this is the most time consuming part, but it really doesn't take too long. So that gave me 400 grams of prawn meat out of 1 kilo of medium to small tiger prawns, so most of that weight is shell, but that'll be enough to make at least half a dozen cocktails. And now I'm going to put these in the fridge while I prep the other ingredients. I like using cos lettuce for the prawn cocktail because it holds up really well, and I've probably washed way too much here. But that's 2 baby little cos lettuces. And I'll just leave them to dry because it's really important that if you wash them, dry them thoroughly. Otherwise they'll get a bit waterlogged. And that is definitely too much cos lettuce. And what I personally really love in a prawn cocktail is a few sweet cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes. And to me that just adds like a little freshness and juiciness. If you have a little bit of tomato in a salad, you almost don't need dressing. So I'm just soaking it in a bit of bicarb in cold water just for a few minutes to remove any pesticides or to help remove some pesticides, and then I'll rinse them and dry them. And you can make these prawn cocktails your own. Some people put diced mango and thinly sliced red onion, which is really lovely, but you have to like the flavour of mango because it's quite a strong flavour. I love avocado in a little prawn cocktail. So now it's just the cocktail sauce. Now I made way too much cocktail sauce for the amount of prawns I had. However, in the recipe on the website, I'll also include the measurements for half this amount. The cocktail sauce is super easy and also very delicious. And all you have to do into a bowl, put 50 ml of cream, 100 ml of your favourite tomato ketchup, and 350 ml of mayo. And you can make your own or just use store-bought. Give these 3 ingredients a good little whisk. Now season it to taste with lemon juice, just a teaspoon or so, and a little bit of Worcestershire, again just a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon, just to your taste. And if you like a little bit of spice, a little bit of kick, add a few drops of Tabasco or a bit of cayenne pepper. I think a little bit more lemon juice And maybe just a tad more Worcestershire. That's yum. Simple and yum. Maybe just a little bit more Tabasco. I don't mind a bit of a kick. And I'll refrigerate that while I put everything together. So these are a medley of grape tomatoes, and I'm just going to cut them in sort of like quarters, just bite-sized sort of pieces, or maybe even a half. These little Russian tomatoes are so sweet, they're delicious. I like this prawn cocktail to be eaten without people having to use their fingers, just like a fork. And that's why, you know, you could totally leave a whole prawn intact with the skins for a garnish, but then I feel like people need to take the skin off. Well, they have to go and wash their hands then, I suppose. And this was 2 punnets of grape tomatoes, and I think probably too many. I love the colours in them though. The colours look really lovely in this, and that will probably be enough. Now the avocado I would suggest doing close to serving. Oh, that's a beautiful one. But prawns and avocado go so well together. And a good squeeze of lemon over them helps them stop discolouring so quickly. Just a tiny little bit of chopped parsley, and that will just be sprinkled on at the end. Or you can use shallots, spring onions I mean. And with the cos lettuce, which I've probably washed way too much, I like to get rid of any of the yucky bits on the end and just shred it. You will need a bit of lettuce though, because that takes up at least half of the cocktail glass or dish. Now you can compile the whole thing, wrap them up, put them in the refrigerator, and you know, serve them 2 hours later. They'll be still fresh and beautiful. The last thing I would do is just put the sauce on before you're serving, and the parsley. And the other garnish I like is a lemon wedge on the side of each plate. Now traditionally these are served in martini glasses, but I don't have martini glasses. So I'm just going to show you here a selection of what I've got, and they'll even work in just a lovely little bowl, whatever you've got. So first of all, lettuce in each one. And you want them to come up, the lettuce to come up at least halfway. That provides a nice solid base for everything else. Next I add just a few tomatoes to each glass. And again, that's entirely optional. If you don't like tomatoes, don't add them. And 1 punnet for 6 would have been enough. I've still got lots left. And now some avocado. There's this saying that I never forget. When I had my cafe, I had a salesperson come in and I used to stock some of their products. And he said to me, stack 'em high, make 'em buy. And I think food that looks generous and is stacked high really entices the appetite. Now the prawns. Now you could save a nice looking prawn for the garnish, for the top one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set aside 6 lovely prawns just for the garnish. All about the same size, nice big ones. And then the other ones, I'm just going to pile them high in the dishes. And if some are too big for a mouthful, just cut them in half. But they are the star of the dish, without a doubt. Now some people will mix the prawns with the cocktail sauce. I prefer just to spoon some cocktail sauce over the prawns. And then you can put whatever cocktail sauce you have left over in the middle of the table if people want to have more. But as you can see, they look very attractive in any type of glass vessel. Doesn't have to be a martini glass at all. And you could cover them at this stage and just refrigerate them for a few hours, and then when you're ready to serve, just spoon over some of this lovely cocktail sauce, just enough so people can see all the other lovely little layers in the cocktail, in the prawn cocktail. Now then I take the prawn I reserved for the garnish and just pop it on the top or over the side, but it makes it look generous. And a little sprinkle of parsley on top. From a height works great. And the way I like to serve it is on a plate with a serviette underneath and a fork and a wedge of lemon. And you can put the lemon on the side or you could put it in the cocktail. I like it on the side. And there you go. Beautiful prawn cocktails. And you know, the sauce is so yummy that I haven't put a lot in these prawn cocktails, but what I like to do is serve it in the middle of the table and people can add more if they wish. Either in a jug or with a spoon in it so people can just take out and put more on their prawn cocktail. I hope you enjoy this recipe and maybe it's an idea you haven't thought of for your Christmas table this year. Thanks so much for watching and hopefully I'll see you again soon.